Hello, welcome to this PriceAJob tutorial series on how to create a custom module in PriceAJob. In this video, we'll discuss how to add a description to a custom module. In the previous tutorial, we added resources to this simple custom module. Now it's time to add a description. In order to edit the description, first we'll have to enter edit mode. And that is done by clicking this edit mode icon here under the main setup pane. And here we can see descriptions for each of our stages. Our first stage, which ought to be titled Shed, and our second stage for decorating. So that's the two stages here. The titles of these descriptions can be either displayed or hidden by selecting the checkboxes. So when we exit edit mode, we can see here is each of our description titles. If we go into edit mode and deselect, then it will hide the deselected title. In this case, let's add both of our titles, and let's add a description for the shed stage. And we'll do that by clicking the plus button here to add a description. There are a variety of description types that we can add in PriceAJob: text, header, simple material, allowance, supplied by customer, which indicates that the pricing for this is not included in the quote, multi-labor, or images. Let's start with a simple material, and here on the description form, we'll input supply and install garden shed, and then save. And that adds our description here within the shed stage. If we exit edit mode, we can see how that appears. Let's do another one. To do so, we'll enter edit mode, click the plus add description button, and let's add another simple material. This time we will supply and install 8 meters squared of paving slabs. And correct our typo and save. And we'll add another description. This time, rather than simple material, let's input an allowance. And we'll describe this as garden shed allowance 1,000 pounds plus VAT. And we'll save that. And we'll add another description. This time it is supplied by customer. And we will indicate that ground preparation is not included. And save. And we'll do one more description. This time we will add a description and we will add a header this time. And we will call the header garden shed 1800 by 3600 millimeters. And save. And for this description, because this is a header, we will grab it by the double lines here and drag it to the very top of our descriptions. And now that we've input our own description for the header, we don't require this one anymore. So we'll go ahead and deselect the title visibility. And we'll exit edit mode to see how that looks. And here is the header that we input, and the default title has been hidden. So now we'll add some descriptions for decorating. So we'll go back into edit mode and scroll down to decorating, and we'll click plus add description. And for type, we'll specify a simple material and describe supply 2 tubs of saddle-in wood stain. And save. And we'll add another description here and select simple material. And we will apply 2 coats of wood stain and save. And we'll add a description. And this time we'll just make it simple text, and we will make a note that decorating externally only, and save. And then we can exit edit mode to see all of our descriptions. And if we notice any typos or mistakes that we've made, we can simply go back into edit mode, select that error, make the changes, and save. And now we can exit edit mode and see our descriptions. Now, if you expect that you'll be reusing this set of descriptions again in the future, rather than having to type it all out from scratch, what we can do now is go ahead and save this set of descriptions to the library. So we'll go ahead and select that and give our set of descriptions a title. We'll call this Garden Shed. And save. And now if we create a custom module and we want to recall that same set of descriptions, rather than typing it all out from scratch, we can simply add from library. And here we can see the description template that we just saved. So we'll go ahead and select that. And here is our description all typed out for us. Now in this case, we don't need this new custom module that we just created. So here under the module options, we'll select the 3 dots and delete this module. Yes. And then reopen our group folder. And here is the simple garden shed module that we are currently working on. Now you'll note that each stage, both the shed and the decorating stages, each have their own set of descriptions. Here in the setup pane, if we deselect either of these stages, both the estimate and the description are removed from the pane. So we can deselect shed and decorating, or add either one or both back in. Separate from either of these descriptions, however, we also have the ability to add a note. So here we can, for instance, put in a note that says width 1800 millimeters, height 2500 millimeters, length 3600 millimeters, and close. And this note is separate from either of our stages. So if we deselect all of our stages, the note that we have entered here manually still exists. So if you have any important information that you don't want to have accidentally hidden when you hide a stage, you can enter that here in the notes. So now that our descriptions are more or less finished, let's take a look at the reports at the quote. And we'll see here our descriptions are also transferred to the quote. Now a lot of contractors, builders, and tradespeople sometimes prefer not to show the pricing, just the description of the work. So in that case, you would simply select the simple mode, and that provides the customer with an accurate description of the work being performed with the totals that concern them. And if you wish to further hide the materials and labor subcosts, you can deselect that here within the pricing options. And that pretty much covers the basics on how to write a description for a custom module. In the next video, we'll discuss how to add a sketch to the sketch pane. Thank you for using Price-A-Job.